Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy and this is the channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, so what we got going on today? Well, everybody knows it's apple season. Today we are going to make some apple rye whiskey. You're not going to want to miss this, so make sure you stay tuned. Okay, but there is something that you can really do to help us out. I say this all the time and I really do appreciate it. So, if you've already subscribed, thanks a bunch. Alright? If you haven't got a chance to subscribe yet, I'm going to make it easy. There's going to be a button down there. So please do so. That really helps us. And you can also hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Share us with your friends if you want. And if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up and comment and I'll get back to you. Okay, so let's get started. First question is, what is whiskey? Well, the definition I found is, whiskey is a distilled alcoholic beverage from fermented grains, a various of grains like barley, corn, rye, and wheat, and it is aged in white oak. Very simple. Okay, but I'm going to mix it up just a little bit. I have a rye recipe that I've used a few times, or many times, and it's turned out very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just introduce apple into that rye whiskey recipe I got, and we're going to see how it turns out. I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out pretty fantastic. Let's see. Okay, so what I got going around, I'm heating up some water. So let me get things started and then I'll be back. Okay, so our first step is we're adding hot water to our mash tun. I am using a grain bag. And so our first step is we're going to take our cornmeal and we're going to put it in a couple gallons of hot water and hydronize, gelatinize, whatever you like to call it. Get the corn ready. So let me get a couple gallons of hot water in here. Okay, like I said, I added boiling water into my mash tun, and we're going to start adding in our cornmeal. We'll kind of do this a little bit on the slow side because we don't want it to clump up and get dough balls and stuff such like that. Different than a bourbon, this is going to be for some flavor. I'm adding 4 pounds of cornmeal. There's 2. It will get pretty thick. Okay. Get that. Make sure it's all well stirred in. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to let this sit for about an hour, and I'll come back and check in a little while, and when it gets down to about 190 degrees I'm going to add in some 1 tablespoon of the high temperature enzyme, and what that will do is it'll start breaking the starches down, converting them over, okay, and that'll give us a little head start so when we added our rest of our grains in, so they ain't one big blob, it helps break it down a little bit. It works fantastic. Okay, so let me get this covered up and we'll be back. Okay, so like I said, this is a rye whiskey recipe I've had, and I've used it many a times, and it's always turned out real well for me. So what I'm going to do this time is we're going to add some apples to it and make it an apple rye whiskey. I'm looking forward to this. Now I know there's a lot of purists where you said you can't add fruit to a grain or and stuff like that, but in my opinion, I'm a home distiller. I can do what I want, right? I've made apple whiskey and it turned out fantastic. Everybody really seemed to enjoy that. So I'm counting on this apple rye whiskey is going to turn out fantastic too. Now you're just going to have to remember one of the things, once this is all done, you won't be able to sip and say, oh, that's apple. That just won't happen. But it's going to have the characteristics of the apple, and it's just the overall taste is going to be there. I'm hoping a lot of the apple flavor will come over, because I'm going to use a pot still. I'm hoping a lot of the apple flavor will come over into the distillate. That'd be great. So while we're waiting for the corn to convert there, I just checked the temperature. It is just a little bit above 190. So I'll give it a couple more minutes. I think it's been close to a half hour. So it'll be coming down to temperature. Then what I'm going to do is add in some of this high temperature enzymes. And what that will do is it'll start converting some of those starches that's already done over into sugars. And that will really loosen that cornmeal up. This stuff works pretty good. So I'll add some of that in. It only takes about 1 teaspoon for 5 gallons. All right, so it goes a long way. All right, and so then the next step will be is we'll start adding our grains in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting the apples prepared. So let me get set up for that. Okay, so it's been close to an hour for my cornmeal that's in here hydrolyzed. And I think I forgot to show you, but it was like it acts like about like an oatmeal consistency. Okay, and then once it got down to about 190 degrees, I was able to put in the wherever I put it, my high temperature enzyme in, and then about half hour of that in it, you can see how much it just makes it like real thin. Okay, so it's already working. So now it's time to let's put the rest of our grains in. Okay, so with that being said, I got I got 6 pounds. I already have 4 pounds of cornmeal in. Now let's go with 6 pounds of rye. And this has all been milled. So we're going to add the rye in. Try to add it in slow. Make sure that you don't have any dough balls and all that good stuff. If I need to add a little hot more water into it, I could. Adjust the temperature up or down. It's about 164 right now, and I know it's going to drop a lot once I start adding this grain in. And I would like to get it to about 145, 148. Okay, so there's the rye. Oh, the smell is fantastic. I love this smell. Okay, so our next thing is I got 1 pound of wheat. We'll add that in, 1 pound of wheat. just a white wheat. And then I got 2 pounds of 6-row. Make sure that's all nice and mixed in. So it's thick, but it's not real thick. I'll bring the camera over, but it just fogs the lens up and you can't see anyway. Okay, that's all well mixed in there. Let's give it a final temperature check. Make sure where we want to be. 140. Wait a minute. Just slowing up. $142, $144. It's 144. Let me just give her a squirt of hot water. Come on. Let's see what we got now. Yeah, it's looking like 145. It's right at 148. I'm gonna leave it right there for an hour. Let them enzymes do their job. We'll cover it up and try to maintain that temperature. Get the lid on. Okay, so we're going to leave it there for 1 hour. The next thing while we're doing that is we'll start getting our apples ready. Okay, I got about 10 pounds of, and I got them in a cold water in a bucket, washed them off. So what we're going to do is take the cores out. Missed that one. I guess you could leave the cores in, but I'm gonna take the cores and the cores out. This one must be a pain. Alright, so what I'm going to do, try to chop them up a little bit and put them in a food processor. Just to help. I want to kind of make a They're pretty good sized apples. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in the food processors to help to get them where we want. Let's try this out. Let's figure out how to use it. There we go. I think I might have to put a little bit more water in it. Alright, that's what I want. Alright, so I gotta be right back. I got a sanitized fermentation bucket right here. So we'll add that slurry into there and do it again. I do love this time of year, apples and pumpkins. And I do have a couple apple recipes coming out. Water. Alright, so let me get all these done and I'll be back. Okay, so it's been about an hour and 15 minutes. Let's do an iodine test and see if our conversion took place. So we're going to take a little sample. Alright, let me point the camera down here so you can see what's going on. Okay, so I got the little sample. Put a drop of iodine in it. I'll put 2. Okay, can you see that? Give it a little shake. See, it's all dissipating. It's all going back to the original color. Going back basically to the original color that it was. So I would say that the conversion is taking place. Okay, so let's drain our mash over into our fermentation bucket. Okay, so I'll get this. I collected 6 gallons of wash here. So let's collect us a sample and see what our starting gravity is. Our starting gravity is 1.065. I'm going to leave it right there, 1.065. Make sure I write that down. Let's see what our temperature is. Because what I did do is I added about I don't know, about a gallon of cool water, and that brought me down to, I'm at 82 degrees. That's perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is add about 3 tablespoons of Daddy's yeast. Put the lid on it. And what I'm going to do, because I got a funny feeling that we're going to start something. Well, I got a funny feeling that she's going to get pretty, let's call it violent. I'm going to use a blow off tube. So if you use one of these three-piece or 2-piece of bubblers, you can take a piece of Clear's hose and you can stick it in there like that, and then run the other into a jar with a little bit of water in it, enough water to cover this up. So if it does blow off a little bit too much, you know, it won't make a mess all over the place. We are going to distill it out. The smell of the mash was fantastic. I think this is going to turn out real well. Okay, let's see, what else? Well, I think that's about it. So, thanks for coming by. Enjoy the adventure. We'll see you next time.